Team of the year is over, and now you need to find ways to make coins back very fast ahead of future stars. Well, no worries, because in today's video, I'm going to be showing you guys 5 cards that if you're not trading with, you're missing out on. Now, before we begin today's video, I ask one question of you guys, and that is, what is your favorite card to trade with so far in FIFA 22? And while you guys are on the way down, please consider dropping a like. It helps the video grow and it's much appreciated. Let's get it. So our first card that we're going to be kind of talking about and trading with is Karim Benzema. Now, I like this card for a really one whole reason, and it's because these high rated fodder cards do extremely well with just about every SBC that comes out, whether it's needed as a rating requirement or not. Oftentimes on Footbin with the solutions, you'll find that these 89 rated cards, these high rated cards, are thrown into requirements that maybe only were like an 85 rated squad. So someone throws the 89 in, and then you complete it with like some much lower rated cards for much cheaper. And this happens with every SBC. So you see here that Benzema, at 50k, his supply is less than 2 pages on Xbox, and he currently sits at a price of, we'll say 50k just about. Just there's no supply under there. It's actually kind of crazy that there's just no supply of this card, just because, you know, he's a gold fodder. He's been in the game for a long time, and that's a main reason why I love trading with Karim Benzema. Now, obviously, he is much higher up than, say, he once was, and that's just due to the fact that we got the year in review SBC out, as well as we have just a lot of crazy content from Team of the Year, and of course, you know, future stars coming in. But what you'll notice on Karim Benzema's graph here is that this card fluctuates like crazy. So if we just go ahead and take a look at, say, the last month or so, you'll see that he's gone up, down, up, down, 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 up, and then, you know, down, up, and he's exploded again. So the card is always moving, and it's actually really easy to trade with this card. You just have to find the levels that he might sit at. So during Team of the Year, he was super easy. His low point came at about 32k, and his high points came at whatever he shot up to during the SBCs. So for me, in the future, when I'm looking at a card like this, if Karim Benzema comes down to this, say, 32k level, that is something that I'm going to keep an eye on for. Around 32k, that is a buy zone for me. And it kind of was throughout the entirety of FIFA, you know, 22 so far in the year 2022. And that's kind of the trend I was following during Team of the Year, where if we go and take a look back before Team of the Year, you'll notice that his low point was about the 26-7k range. And you'll see that he jumped up from these ranges multiple times. So in the future here, that's what we're going to be looking for Karim Benzema, is finding this new low point level. And right now it seems to be about 45k on Xbox. However, I think that's a little more riskier. I think that maybe 37-38k would be a good range for a new bottom. Now, of course, this card is inflated up due to current SBC, so obviously it's not a buy right now. But what we could do is keep our eye on this Benzema, and when he does start to come down, we'll look for the next kind of level. So my levels that I have for him are 38k and 32k. If he jumps at 38k and he kind of sits there for about a day or so, I'll know that, hey, you know, this is probably a good time to buy at this level that I set. And of course, if he falls under the 38k level, I know that his next kind of buy zone would be the 32k, and then I can go and look to kind of buy there if he drops down. Now, of course, you do have to take into account potential SBCs coming, keeping up with all the leaks set. And our next player is actually going to be another fodder card, and that's Joel Matip, for the same exact reason as Benzema. These 83s hit these kind of low points in these buy zones, and they just kind of shoot up over time. Now, for the record, Matip isn't a card that flies up super crazy, but you'll notice that a lot of times he hits that 900 coin threshold, and he always ends up going to at least like 1.1, 1.2k, maybe he dips back down, maybe he dips up. Occasionally he'll explode depending on the SBC. He's always a card that ends up rising from his low point, and you'll see on the graph that he's done it multiple times over the last 3 months. So for me, you know, a Matip, when he hits our buy zone of 900 coins, that is when you can buy, and then you can look to sell. Now, I get it. Fodder can take a lot of patience sometimes, and you can be holding for a couple days, and maybe that's not what you guys want to do. But these last 3 cards, these are cards that you guys can flip literally day in and day out. And our first one is going to be the brand new card, the Insigne Team of the Year honorable mention. And I love this card as a trading method because of how much he fluctuates throughout the year. We actually saw this with the Team of the Year nominees 2 FIFAs ago, where these cards would fluctuate a lot every single day, and Insigne is no different. His supply is kind of weird the way he is, and he's priced at such a low point that he's really good for his card. He's really good. He's got 93 pace, 82 shooting, 90 passing, and 94 dribbling. That is an insane card, yet he sits at such a low price, which means there's always going to be demand for this card. And as you could see, he sits at a low of about 43k. And look at his supply on Xbox, there's not much of him at, under 45k, 50k. There's not much supply, which means he can fluctuate a lot within a day. So as you see here on Footbin, here is Lorenzo Insigne's graph. But go ahead and take a look at the kind of price movements on this card. As you can see, he dipped down to 45k. We saw one up at 43k on the Xbox market, and he gets as high as about 49 to 50k on Xbox. And if we go over to Monday, we'll see the same kind of thing happened with his card here too. He hit a low of about 45k on Xbox, which you could probably find a couple snipes for lower, and he ended up getting as high as about 49, 50k. Now this kind of trading method, this kind of flipping works very well for these cards in this 40, 50, 60k range, because of course the fluctuations, they move up just enough where you can make about 3, 4k a card, and it's really easy to do so, and it just moves with, the time of day. So if, say Insigne's card hits the low of the day of about, say, 43k, which he is right now, you want to try and snipe for a few k under that, or bid for a few k under that, and then wait till he hits that higher fluctuation, which usually tends to be around content time, it seems, unless of course we get some kind of crazy SBC, which in the next couple of cards you're going to see, they were kind of affected by the SBC content that we had gotten this week, with of course the year in review stuff. And Insigne's only of course been in packs for a little bit, and he's still in packs, but in like a week or two's time, this card is going to be even better to trade with because he'll just be fluctuating within the day. And we can kind of move to our next card here, and a great example of a card to trade with, team of the group stage, Mo Salah. Now I picked this card because he has very low supply, especially on the Xbox market. As you can see, this card literally has listings here. And if you go and take a look at just Salah's price jumps from, the last bit of time, he is moving in price a significant amount just about every day. So if we go ahead and take a look at yesterday's graph on Xbox, he had a low of 550 and a high of up to 625k. It's literally an insane card that moves literally every single day. And I've actually done trading myself with this card quite a bit recently, especially around weekend league time. I find these low points and I just, buy him then and then sell in the high points, whenever it happens. But even Monday, you'll see same kind of thing, hits as low as 500k, 550, 515, 600k. So he fluctuates so much between the 500 and 650k range on Xbox. And if we just go ahead and take a look at the market right now and go find Mo Salah, we can find that we can probably, find a good deal on this card. So it's all about, again, setting those kind of buy zones. So Salah, anything at 550 or less tends to be a really good buy zone because we know he can jump up to almost over 600k. And the reason why I think this card is so interesting and he works so well is because his supply is so low. And this works really well with any cards that have low supply. So for example here, there's 7 Mo Salahs on the market, and as you can see, all of them are above 600k now. Where, earlier in the day today, we probably could have bought for about 550k or something like that. So obviously he doesn't hit my buy zone right now, so I obviously wouldn't pick any up. But if he was in my buy zone that I kind of set with the previous levels we've seen in the past couple days, I'd go ahead and buy him then. A cheaper example you guys can do this with is actually the Antony one, and he is an interesting one too. I like him just because he's cheaper and he also is kind of low in supply, meaning he kind of fluctuates a lot. And we're going to go on Footbin here because obviously we can't see any of the price graphs here. But Antony, again, is another card that kind of has low supply. You saw there's only 3 pages of him on Xbox, and you'll see he's a card that kind of moves around all the time. Now, you do, of course, have to be careful. This card was affected with the SBC content. You'll see that on the Monday, for example, and he's kind of worked all so well this year. He gets as low as about 70k or so, and he got as high as like 78, 79k on Xbox. And even on PlayStation, you'll see he kind of does these same kind of price movements as well. Now, you do have to be careful with a card like Antony because, of course, the EA tax. You don't want to, lose out on profit just because you got killed by the tax. So that's why I like the Salah card, because he has obviously bigger fluctuations. And it's why I like the Insigne card, because he's much cheaper, so the tax doesn't get affected too much. Finally, the last card I want to take a look at in this video is Arturo Vidal. Now, this card, of course, is a road to the knockout, or road to the whatever it is. Road to the knockout, I think it is. But look at the card's fluctuations. Every day there's a big movement on this card at some point, which means that on the hourly, he likely is the same. So if we go ahead and take a look at yesterday, which again, we kind of had the SBC content come out that kind of pushed these cards down a lot. So you are going to have to wait for new levels to form. But if we go ahead and take a look at the Monday, you'll see that this card moved a lot from the 54k range up to 58, 59k. On PS, he was as low as 62k, got as high as 69k in a day. So these are really good fluctuations that you can use every single day. I mean, like, take a look at the PC fluctuations on this guy. 76k to 85k, back down to 75k, up to 86k, back down to 76k, up to 86k. So, I mean, he was a card that moved a ton on PC. He moved a ton on Xbox, and he moves a ton on PS. And on the right days, you can make some really good coins. And of course, it's very low risk because the price is just so low on these cards. So, you flip maybe 4 or 5 of these cards a day, say, you do 5 of each, you can end up making a good amount of coins really, really fast. Again, if you guys did enjoy today's video, make sure to drop a like and let me know down in the comments your thoughts on it. If you guys do enjoy it and you want another kind of episode with 5 more cards or 10 more cards or whatever it is, make sure to let me know, because I'll go ahead and do just that. Check out the video on your screen right now. Get prepared for future stars. It's going to be crazy. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time. Peace.